I'm Shanna Ritter.
Hi, my name is Thomas Ritter.
And welcome to the Prepare Your Horse for the Flying Changes in 5 Days Challenge.
Yeah, in these 5 days we will explain to you the what, why and how of how to prepare your horse for the flying changes.
And this is day 1. So, what is a flying change?
Flying change is a lead change for which the horse does not break gait. I mean, basically there are 2 ways in which the horse can change from the right lead canter to the left lead or vice versa. One option is to drop back to the trot or the walk, or the halt even, and then pick up the new lead, or the horse can just reorganize his feet mid-stride during the suspension phase, and that's what we call a flying change.
And what is a good quality flying change?
A good quality flying change means that all 4 feet of the horse change at the same time in the same moment of suspension. So not first the hind legs, then the front legs, or vice versa, but all together. And in order for the flying change to be of good quality, the horse has to be straight and in an uphill balance and round before the change, during the change, and after the change. And he has to maintain the same tempo and rhythm and stride length before and during and after the flying change. That becomes relevant later, especially when you're trying to ride more than one flying change when you're working on tempo changes.
So why is that relevant for the training?
Well, flying changes can be used to test the progress of the horse. In a sense, you can test the suppleness of the hips and shoulders, the balance, the lateral balance especially, the uphill balance of the canter, the straightness. And for the rider, it's a good test of the suppleness of her hips and the coordination of the aids, because you have to do a lot of things within a relatively short amount of time. And so by riding flying changes, you can test the overall coordination balance.
Just start at any point
Yeah,
by doing the flying change, or if you want to start over. Okay, so I'll ask the question again. So why is that relevant for the training?
Yeah, the flying changes are beneficial as tests for the suppleness of the horse's hips and shoulders, for the lateral balance, straightness, and for the longitudinal balance. You can test the suppleness of the spine and the hips, and for the rider you can test also the suppleness of the hips as well as the timing and coordination of the seat, weight, leg and rein aids, because you have to do a fairly large number of things within a relatively short amount of time.
So when is the horse ready to do flying changes?
That's a good question. The horse is ready to work on flying changes when the basic canter is in good uphill balance, round, straight, when you can control the stride length and lengthen the stride, shorten the strides, when you can ride voltas in the canter, when the simple changes are confirmed. In other words, if you can do canter walk and walk canter transitions cleanly without trot strides, and it is beneficial, when the horses can do lateral movements at the trot, or in a way it's a prerequisite to be able to do flying lateral movements in the trot, because you need that suppleness of the spine and the horse's pelvis to be able to execute flying changes. And if the horse can already do canter half passes, that's a big plus. Not absolutely necessary, but it really helps.
Okay, so what are the prerequisite skills for horse and rider?
Yeah, in systematic terms, the horse has to be able to shift his weight from one side of the body to the other. So he has to be able to support himself more with the left pair of legs or more with the right pair of legs, and he has to be able to shift the weight back and forth between the two. He has to be able to bend equally easily left and right and change the bend in whatever he's doing at the moment. He also has to be able to move his pelvis from the middle to the right or to the left and back and forth without resistances. And he has to be able to move the hips and shoulders independently of each other. So in other words, if the pelvis goes to the right, the shoulder has to maintain its line of travel. Instead of making compensatory movements to one side or the other. Otherwise, changes won't be clean. And for the rider, it's important that they can also weight each seat bone, more the left, more the right, and shift the weight back and forth. They have to be able to rotate the pelvis equally easily left and right, and they have to be able to feel the footfall of the horse in the canter, and to apply the aids at the right window within the right moment of the footfall sequence.
So that wraps up day 1. There's a PDF you can go download that lists all of those things so that you don't have to keep it all in your head. You can check the list and see if you have all of these and figure out what it is, identify what it is that you think you need to still work on in order to get the flying changes. And then meet us for day 2 tomorrow, where we are going to lay the foundation for the horse with
an exercise that tests these prerequisites of shifting the weight, changing the bend, and moving the hips of the horse.
In the meantime, meet us in the Facebook group, ask questions in there, and we'll have a Q&A today. Bye.
See you.